Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Wednesday, June the 19th. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clay Emo on Instagram, I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. I'm excited, it's the NHL Awards night tonight, 5 o'clock from Las Vegas, and a reminder, you may have seen this on Twitter, that right at the conclusion of the awards, so somewhere between 7 and 7:15 maybe, I will jump onto YouTube and do a live stream on YouTube to talk about what we just saw with the awards, talk about the Canucks, talk about the upcoming draft, free agency, trades, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to talk about. Maybe I'll even throw in some talk about the Toronto Raptors championship parade that I was at on Monday. Whatever you want to talk about, I'll be there on YouTube, on my channel, Clay Emo or at Canuck Clay on Twitter, on YouTube as well, I should say. Would love for you to join me. I will tweet out the link a little later as the NHL Awards are wrapping up. So once again, join me on YouTube for a live stream to chat Canucks at the conclusion of the awards. So for today, I want to talk about 6 of the awards, the major awards, and give you my predictions for them very quickly. And I think for me, 3 of them are clear-cut winners, and 3 of them could go in one of 2 directions, if not 3 directions. So let's start right at the top, the one that we are most excited about as Canucks fans, and that's the Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year. It's going to be Elias Pettersson. I have no fear, I have no doubt. I know I've done a couple videos about it over the past 2 months since the nominations came out. But Pettersson had an outstanding season. 66 points in 71 games, 28 goals, 38 assists. Single-handedly sped up the Canucks rebuild by a year or 2, gave the Canucks fans hope. And after a really hot start, was mostly consistent. A couple drops, but he's a rookie. Come on. I think had a remarkably consistent and exciting year. So let's give it to Pettersson. And I don't just say that because we're here in Vancouver. I would say that also if I was in St. Louis or if I was in Buffalo. But we should talk about those other 2 guys. Jordan Binnington's going to get a lot of votes, going to probably make it closer than Canucks fans want. But remember, this is a regular season vote, a regular season award. All the voting is done by media and voters at the end of the regular season before a playoff game. Binnington obviously had an awesome playoffs. He is a Stanley Cup champion, which he would probably want over a Calder Trophy, although Calder Trophy is still a nice accomplishment to have. But Binnington did well in the regular season, 31 games, 30 of those starts, 24, 5, and 1. Awesome stats, awesome save percentage, awesome goals against average. But I think the body of work is simply not enough to win Rookie of the Year. That's only 30 games. Granted, as a goalie, you're not going to play all 82, but a starting goalie would play 55, 60, 65 games even. So even a 50, I think he needs about 50 games to get serious consideration. So Jordan Binnington, yes, he helped the St. Louis Blues crawl from the cellar January 1 all the way to making the playoffs, almost winning the division on the last night of the regular season. So he'll get votes, but he will not win. And then Rasmus Dahlin, great season as an 18-year-old defenseman, very rare, but I think he's just too far back behind Pettersson and Binnington. I know some people, Dallas fans especially, were upset that Miro Heiskanen didn't finish top 3, but he's still obviously a very good player. So Pettersson is my vote for the Calder Trophy. And yes, I called it. Marie and I called it when we wrote a song about him just 4 weeks into the season on November 8th. How sweet it is, where we said the Calder Trophy is yours, baby. I think those are the words that Marie used. So Pettersson for the Calder. Let's go to the Hart Trophy, most valuable player. I think it's going to go to Nikita Kucherov. Amazing season, 41 goals, 87 assists, 128 points, and helped Tampa Bay. Led Tampa Bay to their amazing regular season. Remember, this is a regular season award, not a playoff award, so we don't worry about the fact that they got swept out in 4. So let's go with Kucherov as the MVP, beating out Sidney Crosby. Crosby did have 100 points, a good season for him, always in the running. And Connor McDavid, who will not repeat this year, he had 116 points for the Oilers, but Oilers far out of playoff position. And this year, the gap between him and the next leading scorer on Edmonton, Draisaitl, was a lot smaller than it was last year. So the gap between him and the next leading scorer on Edmonton, it shrunk a lot. So that's why I don't think McDavid will win for a second straight year. So let's go Nikita Kucherov from the Tampa Bay Lightning for the Hart Trophy. Best defenseman, Mark Giordano, Calgary Flames. He's going to be the winner. Excellent season. He went 74 points, 17 goals, 57 assists, 74 points. But check this out. He was a plus 39. Outstanding, especially for a D-man, obviously a very important stat. And, some people think plus minus is overrated, but it still counts for something. He was plus 39, well ahead of the other 2 candidates. 35 years old, great story. Let's give it to Mark Giordano. He's going to beat out Brent Burns. Brent Burns had an excellent season, especially offensively, 83 points, but he was only a plus 13 and maybe not as good of a pure defenseman as Giordano. but obviously makes up for it with offense. And then the third guy, Victor Hedman, not as good as last season when he actually won the award. He only had 54 points this season, plus 24, so not bad in the plus minus. But I think both those guys don't measure up to Mark Giordano. So Mark Giordano of the Flames for best defenseman, the Norris Trophy. Then there are three that I'm not so sure about. The first one is the Vezina. There's Ben Bishop of Dallas. There's Vasilevsky of Tampa. And then there's Robin Lehner of the Islanders. And all three guys have remarkably similar stats. That's why I think this one's tough to say. Bishop had 27 wins, 934 save percentage, 198 goals against. Vasilevsky, 39 wins playing with Tampa, 925 save percentage, 240 goals against. And then Robin Lehner, 25 wins, 930 save percentage, and 213 goals against. So in terms of wins, it goes Vasilevsky, Bishop, Lehner. In terms of save percentage, it goes Bishop, Lehner, Vasilevsky, and in terms of goals against, it goes Bishop, Lehner, Vasilevsky. So when in terms of the stats, aside from the wins, you had Ben Bishop, so obviously playing behind a weaker Dallas team, weaker than Tampa Bay. His stats are even more impressive. Then you have Vasilevsky, who part of that juggernaut with Hedman, who's nominated, with John Cooper, who's nominated, get to that in a sec, with Nikita Kucherov, who's nominated for awards. So obviously a great season for Vasilevsky, and then there's Robin Lehner, who helped the Islanders, with their very surprising season. I think Lehner is the dark horse, so I think it's going to be between Bishop and Vasilevsky. And really, I've struggled all day as I thought about making this video last night, thinking about who it could be. I think it could go either way. The stats are pretty impressive for Ben Bishop, 934 on 198 on a Dallas team that's not as good as Tampa. So it's tough, it's close, but I'm going to lean towards Ben Bishop winning the Vezina Trophy. But this one, it could go to Vasilevsky, as I was saying. Let's go to the Selke Best Defensive Forward. Patrice Bergeron from Boston has won it 4 years in a row. You have Ryan O'Reilly, who just was the Conn Smythe MVP for St. Louis in the Stanley Cup Finals. And then you have Mark Stone, traded from Ottawa to Vegas, and he's a winger. And I bring that up because usually centers win this award. You think of Kopitar, you think of guys like that, Bergeron, those two have kind of dominated over the past few years. You think centers usually win it, and it's very rare for a winger to win it. That doesn't mean Stone won't win it, but I just have a feeling Bergeron's going to win once again. Stone's a winger, still a very good player. Obviously, he's nominated. Ryan O'Reilly had a really, really good season. His data, his metrics, his analytics are off the charts, and he had a really good playoffs. Remember, playoffs don't count in this voting. But Bergeron, he had 79 points in only 65 games. Actually, what's really interesting is these guys' point totals are very similar. Bergeron had 79, O'Reilly had 77, and Stone had 73. Remember, this is not an offensive award, but you need to be able to be good at offense to be even consider this. So all three guys within 6 points of each other. But Bergeron did it in 12 less games. He did it in only 65 games. Stone did it in 77, and O'Reilly played all 82. But that's a testament to O'Reilly's durability. And then you look at the plus minuses, almost the same. Bergeron plus 23, O'Reilly plus 22, Stone plus 17. So to me, this one could go all three ways. But I'm going to go on a limb and say Patrice Bergeron will win his fifth straight Selke as the best defensive forward. So, I got too excited there. Patrice Bergeron of the Boston Bruins is my pick. Lastly, Jack Adams for Coach of the Year. We have Barry Trotz from the Islanders. We have John Cooper from Tampa Bay. And we have Craig Berube from St. Louis. I'm going to go with Barry Trotz of the Islanders. I think the story is really good, right? He won the Cup with Washington last year, then gets jettisoned out of there, and then goes to the Islanders team, a team that was wrought with a bit of turmoil because of John Tavares leaving. Yet all Trotz does was help the Islanders improve to a playoff position and really, really put together a really hardworking, not the most exciting team ever, but very hardworking, solid, tough team to play against. So I kind of just explained Barry Trotz, very hardworking, not too exciting, but very tough. So I'm giving it to Trotz. John Cooper, he'll get some consideration, obviously, given the Tampa Bay Lightning's awesome regular season. Remember, the playoff sweep doesn't count. So I think he will get some consideration for sure. And I think it's going to be between Trotz and John Cooper, now that I think about it. Berube will get votes for the same reason Binnington got votes, is that St. Louis, improved so much in the second half of the season. And of course, if this was given after the Stanley Cup playoffs, then probably Berube would win because of the Stanley Cup win. But I just have a feeling that the same thing, not only the body of work, because he came in halfway through the season or near the start of the season. But I think that there's a feel-good story with Trotz, especially feel-good story for all three of them, but a feel-good story with Trotz coming from Washington. You know, who leaves a team after they win the Stanley Cup, and then bringing the Islanders to respectability and prominence. So I'm going with Barry Trotz for my pick for Coach of the Year. So my 6 picks, and of course I would love your reaction to all 6 of these. Pettersson for the Calder, Kucherov for the Hart, Giordano for the Norris. We got Ben Bishop for the Vezina, Bergeron for the Selke, and then Barry Trotz for the Jack Adams. What do you think? What do you think of my picks? Do you agree with some of them, all 6 of them, or a few of them, or none of them? I don't think it's going to be none of them. But leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your picks for the 6 major awards. You can go into the other ones if you want, but these are the 6 that I'm going to be most focused on. Leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, and reply, as always. Talk about all 6 award categories if you want, or just one. Go after my reasoning. Agree with me. Whatever you want to do, I promise that I will read and react. Might not reply to all of them, but I'll do my best for sure. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. And don't forget, join me at the conclusion of the NHL Awards on my YouTube channel, where I'll be doing a live stream to talk about the results and talk about the exciting week that's to come for the Vancouver Canucks. Have a great day. God bless. Go Canucks, go.